Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, Cape Cod Like a Local. And today we're going to talk about 5 ways that you can maximize your return when selling a property. First, the very first step is to hire a realtor that you can trust and then trust their judgment. Not just saying this because I'm a realtor. I always, before I was a realtor, used the realtors, and even now if I sell a property outside of my own area, I use a realtor, professional in that area. They can get you exposure in many fronts besides internet, local exposure to their database, exposure to other agents that you just can't get on your own. So hire a realtor, work together as a team, and take their advice. Remember, they're going to make suggestions, but you're going to make decisions. Number 2, declutter your home and have it professionally cleaned. I know, I've heard it all. I'm really neat. My home is already clean. I'm so neat that people make fun of me because of it. And yet, when my cleaner comes in, she finds stuff that in day-to-day life, I tend to look right by. I don't even notice it. So there's nothing like a spotless home. Any kind of pet smells or smoke or anything like that, that will take thousands and thousands of dollars off of your net. Buyers will see that as a huge problem. It'll scare them. You'll scare many off, and others will want to really compensate for that on the price. So have your home professionally cleaned, have it shining and decluttered. I'm not really a big proponent of taking every personal picture down, but I just like to create more of a clear space where people can picture themselves in a kind of an open palette there, where they can see themselves living there. And that's harder to do when there's a lot of stuff in the way. Also, by decluttering, you make all the rooms seem bigger, which is always nice. People want to feel big open spaces, even when they're not necessarily that big. So decluttering and cleaning is an absolute must. Number 3 is add some curb appeal. It's so simple to add amazing curb appeal to most houses. Number 1, we have to make sure the lawn is cut. And I always would recommend hiring a professional landscaper to do some nice clean edging, mulching, make sure there are no weeds in the front gardens. If there are weeds coming up in the walkways or, just it's looking a little unkempt, the bushes are out of control, that's just, it's not going to serve you well. So really what you want to do is maybe have the place cleaned up, have a landscape cleanup done, maybe some edging, mulch, some very inexpensive flowers that just add a little bit of color to make things pop. If the paint on the front of the house is dull, look at maybe some painting. Sometimes we even just paint like the shutters or the front door, just a color that'll make it pop. So really, curb appeal is very simple, and it makes such a difference. That's the first thing people see when they see your house. So there are some very simple tips on how to add that, and it's generally not very expensive. So that's always something we try to recommend. Number 4 is make necessary repairs before you put the house on the market. Major remodeling doesn't always return dollar for dollar, so you want to be careful there. Not only that, but if you redo a whole kitchen, kind of sometimes that makes the flooring look not so great, or the bathrooms. So what you want to do is just work with your realtor and talk about what repairs absolutely have to happen. Here on Cape Cod, there's generally a little bit of punkiness or rot at the bottom of trim boards, at the bottom of the rake boards, down by the gutter. Those are areas that tend to be problematic and tend to rot first. If you've got some rot up there, have someone come along and take it out of there and just replace at least a section of that wood and paint it up. Because that just, when people see a lot of little things like that, a lot of spots of rot, they worry if there's a bigger problem. And many times there isn't. Make sure you're taking your downspouts and kicking them away from the house so there's no dampness in the basement. And then little repairs, outlets that aren't working, lights that aren't working. Maybe there's a damaged molding that could be repaired. Things like that. That goes a long way towards, making people feel good about the house. Having your boiler or your furnace and all your major systems serviced beforehand is a great idea. When they see that on the listing that says, hey, we just had everything serviced, so we know everything's in great working order, That just makes people feel more confident. The more little things they see, the more they blow it out of proportion. And, you could lose a great buyer over that. And lastly on that, you could have a pre-inspection done. It's worth the investment. Have an inspector come in. That way they'll pick up on anything that could become a problem further down the road. The last thing you want to do is, get your property under contract, making all your plans to move, and then find out that the people want $10,000 in repairs. Very often we're able to negotiate that stuff way down because of my construction background and the way we work with other agents and inspectors. But a pre-inspection is a good idea. Don't always think, oh, I got to spend. That's an investment. Another thing you can do to make people feel good about the purchase, and it costs a few $100s, but it is well worth the money, is offer to give the buyer a 1-year home warranty. And so that covers all the major systems for 1 year. It gives them a nice peace of mind, makes everybody calmer, and helps you to hang on to your price. So that's a great idea as well. And if you have any questions about those, let me know. We can always get you information on home warranties and how they work. Last is strategic pricing. Now, many times when agents set up prices for their buyers, they'll do, in blocks. So they do bracket pricing. Many times when we feel the price is like right there, maybe $690, $695, we might take it right up to $700,000 because then we're putting more eyes on it because we're catching all the people from say $650 to $700, and then we're going to catch the people from $700 to $750. I know people like to do that $699.9. This isn't bread we're shopping for. People know that's a $700,000 house. So that's one way to do it. And the other way is to look at what's for sale currently in your area. And maybe there's a price if your realtor helps you decide that your home may be worth like $650, and there's one on the market for $640 and one on the market for $690. Maybe to get in between those two, you may go up a little or you may come down a little. The last thing you really want to do in this market is overprice your property. Because initially what you want to do is appeal to, there are people out there right now, could be dozens, could be hundreds, waiting for a property like yours to come on the market. So that initial rush of buyers is really your biggest opportunity. Once they've decided either they want to take a pass or it's not for them, which may happen if you're overpriced, then you're waiting for new buyers to come onto the market, and that's just not where you want to be. I mean, it happens, but overpricing will almost guarantee that. So make sure you're strategically pricing, maybe a gap in between other homes in the area, but definitely, if you've got a range, go just below the midpoint of that range or the lower end of the range. It's got your best opportunity to create a competitive situation. Again, there are many other things you can do, but this is just a short list of things to keep in mind. And we hope you got some value out of this, and give us a call if you have any questions. We'll see you next week.